Madella, Dinardi, Volante. And that's not a good start initially. Betty and Azzurri. Italy taking the breakdown. Dinardi sends it across. It switches back again. Volante shoots, but it's caught by Fava. Sends it back, and foot on line called against Marion Fava. Marion and Lydia both playing here today. You can't tell from the striking likeness. Our sisters. That's landing called against Czechy. Salsa takes the breakdown, sends it across. Return to Tanner, who shoots high. That's gathered second time by Czechy on front line. Dinardi returns it to Madella, who shoots high, and Rajo can't quite gather it in. Italy get the first points on the board. Arajo brings the ball in from the back. Fava. On again. Fava. Civitillo caught on front line by Betty. Sent to Abuzzo, back to the same end. Switched across, and foot on line called again against Betty. Lydia Fava with the breakdown. To Arajo. Rollback can't quite gather the ball in, so Abuzzo takes the breakdown. Della Czechy shoots and claimed on front line by Arajo via one touch. Fava sends it on Civitillo. That's once between the defence to Abuzzo, who sends it back to the same end. The shot is taken by Volante and caught on front line by Lydia Fava. Salsa, Rohrbach, who shoots and spins it past Czechy. Switzerland get their first point on the board. You can see just how good these two defences are. We are over 2 minutes into the game and just 2 points have been scored. And it's not for mistakes, although there have been a couple. There have been plenty of good shots as well. And an excellent set of defensive actions on front line. Sees Tanner recover the ball. Switzerland shoot back, but it's claimed by Abuzzo on front line. And 2 passes used. 3. Oh, I think Switzerland claimed that Betty just stepped out of the D in defending that one there, but the referee saw nothing wrong with it. And Madella spins the ball past the Swiss defence to claim Italy's second point and put them back into the lead. Arajo brings the ball in from the back. Fava. The other Fava shoots. Claimed on front line by Azzurri. Abuzzo to Czechy. Shoots high. Arajo standing tall. Carries it through. Sends it to Rohrbach, back to Tanner, shoots down the line, puts it through the legs of Madella, and Switzerland score. Madella brings the ball in from the back now. Into Azzurri. Switched across. Betty, caught by Civitillo on front line, who sends it to Fava. The long ball now. Tanner has 1 pass left. She chooses to switch it. It's across to Rohrbach, and Abuzzo catches on front line. Azzurri sends it on, and Volante scores the point. Just bouncing it off the knees of the Swiss defence. Lydia Fava with the ball from the back. Arajo, Rohrbach, cross to Tanner. Again, that really wide open stance, but this time setting the ball too flat. It goes out of court for a given point. I'm not actually sure that touched the frame at all. On to Marion Fava. Switch to Civitillo. Quick ball to the other end. Tanner shooting higher, and this time she gets it past Abuzzo. Shooting 70 to 80 degrees. The slightly rushed shot still gets it past the Italian defence, struggling to recover. Czechy brings the ball from the back. Dinardi. Volante. Betty. Back to Dinardi. Shoots high, but Lydia Fava catches on front line, sends it to Marion Fava. Long to Tanner with 1 pass left. Holds it high and caught on front line by Madella. To Dinardi, the nice calm presence in the middle of the court. Czechy now sends the long ball. Betty with a lot to do from that position and chooses not to. She considered it too risky and therefore chose to take the safe option. Sent to Marion Fava. Civitillo shoots. Oh, she's found the gap really well there. just found the shoulder height gap between Volonte and Donardi on front line, about the 20-degree shot, and sends it between for the point. Teller around to Tcheki, and again Sousa digs it up, sends it to Tanner, and 3-second violation called there. Abutsu takes the breakdown. Sends it to Donardi, who shoots a given point, just missing the frame, and she holds her hand up by way of apology to her team there. Ball coming in from the back now from Betty. Abutsu returns it to the same end to Betty. It's not a very good pass. It's at knee height. Unable to be claimed. The Fathers take it quickly, send it across to Civitillo, who shoots a given point. This game's just becoming a little scrappy. Neither side really able to put their true stamp on the game. Father with the ball from the back. Araujo to Rohrbach, who shoots high, just over the heads of front line, but the ball dips down and touches the floor before Donardi on second line can come through and claim it. Point to Switzerland. Tcheki will bring the ball in from the back. Azzurri sends it back, and Madella sends it back again, and it's sent back again. Tcheki has a lot to do and just can't quite get hold of the ball. The ball's dropped behind the hoardings, so whilst that's recovered, a replacement ball will be used. Sousa takes the breakdown. To Lydia Favre, onto Marion Favre, switches it to Civitillo, who takes it in the air. It's dug up first by front line, then by second line. Madella claims it. And Volonte has to shoot, does, and it's caught by Lydia Favre. Sousa now sends it to Rohrbach with one pass left. Brings it across along to Tanner, and delightfully puts it down the line, past Madella, out of reach, and scores the point for Switzerland. Switzerland take the lead for the first time in this game, 6-5. Volonte now called out of court as she runs along for the switch. Just a slight foot fault, I think. So, Marion Favre, Lydia Favre takes the breakdown, shoots, and Rohrbach now gets in on the action. Again, that spin shot, she's got the better of Tcheki twice with that spin shot now to her right-hand side. Tcheki won't take that line down, but it's claimed on front line by Rohrbach by the help of Araujo. And Lydia Favre onto Civitillo. Head height to Donardi, who ball pops up, but not into a good enough position for the Italian second line to claim. As Volonte brings the ball in from the back. Abutsu, Madella, Tcheki. Given point. All of a sudden, from Switzerland having taken the lead for the first time, they're now into a 5-point lead in this game. Shows you just how quickly Tchoukball can turn. Some good defence, and there's some more of it. Wow. Marion Favre. Araujo, Civitillo. Sends it long to Tanner with a lot to do. And she's done it. Abutsu throws her head back in despair as Switzerland claim another point. We'll return now to Madella. Shoots, pops up. Araujo, Sousa up to Araujo, who takes a second, reevaluates. Tanner looks to use the long pass, but just steps out of the court as she does so. The end referee calls it. He's just insisting Italy take it from within 1 meter of the breakdown location. Abutsu onto Donardi. Sends it across. Back again. Volonte shoots, and that's a given point. The end referee initially called the point, but the main referee overruled, and it's the correct decision. It bounced just inside the D. Madella now. Sends it back long. Betty shoots and scores. Favre brings it in from the back. Araujo sends it back to the same end. Favre spins the ball, but no match there. As Betty takes it. Abutsu on Tcheki. Oh, excellent defense from Tanner. Favre now. Travel violation called. I think that was marginal. It's quite close. Abutsu takes the breakdown. Donardi. Across to Betty. Shoots. Favre claims the ball. Nice and calm, recycles possession. Zauser takes a look to the other end, recycles it to the same end. Favre shoots. It's come off the head there. I think that's 2 passes. It might just be... Yeah. Italy slightly unlucky there with the way the ball bounced. It came off a defender, onto somebody else's head, and then back to that same defender, counting as 2 passes. But Switzerland waste no time in getting the ball in. And Tana again gets the better of the Italian defence. She is having a phenomenal first third here. 13-6 to Switzerland with less than 5 minutes to go. 13-7 now as Volonte spins a shot in and gets another point on the board for Italy. Araujo and Tana. High shot. Oh, and again, you don't see Abutso drop many of those, but she's let that one through. I mean, it is really, I'm being quite harsh on Abutso there. She holds herself to some very high standards, but you are looking at high-quality shooters against high-quality defenders, so it is a game of fine margins. The ball pops up there from Zauser to Araujo. Rollback, 1 pass left. Switches it across to Tana. Shoots high and claimed on second line by Azzurri. Madella across to Cecchi. Shoots high, and this time Italy get the point. 4 minutes to go. This pulsating first period. Favre takes a second, sends the ball back down to Tana. It's optioned out to Araujo, sends it long to Civitillo. The defence gathers. Can she score? No, she can't. Picked up there by Azzurri. Recycled to Madella. Across to Cecchi, who shoots, and Zauser claims the ball confidently. Favre runs through on the offence, and Madella takes it this time. Being sent to the other end now through Azzurri. Betty. And she's got that point in there just. I didn't think she looked very confident there. She took it. Wow. I'd be interested to see those replays again. It looked a bit odd to the naked eye. Oh, and that one popped up a front line. Donardi with an excellent effort to try and get there. Just doesn't quite make it. And Switzerland score the point. I think Madella was looking to go for that, but saw Donardi coming in from second line and wisely left it to her to not have the collision. Ball pops up and well claimed by Zauser. 1 pass left for Favre now, who switches across to Civitillo. Shoots, and Azzurri gets the ball. Abutsu sends it Cecchi back down to the same end. Betty now with the shot. And frame given. So it ricochets off. Crowd fall silent as Favre takes the breakdown, sends it to Rohrback. Tana now. Shoots, and Switzerland score the point. I think Italy will need to do some serious talking to themselves. They weren't expecting to be in this position. I think they expected it to be quite a lot tighter when they first stepped into this game, but they realised they've got a real fight in their hands. The Swiss have come into this game absolutely guns blazing. And Italy now know they have a fight on their hands for the next 30 minutes. With 90 seconds left in this period, Switzerland lead by 16 points to 10. Civitillo takes the ball, switches to Favre, who now sends the ball long down to Tana. Shoots, and claimed by Cecchi on front line. Donardi now. Sending it along to Volonte with the switch. Betty shoots, and Favre claims the ball. In contrast to how we've seen these sides operate through the competition so far, not a single substitution has been made in this first period. This pulsating, as I've said before, first period. A real advert for women's tchoukball. This is some high-quality stuff, as we see Chiara Cecchi go for the high shot. Araujo attempted to parry it up, but just not quite in the direction of any of the second line running from the other end. Into the last minute now, and Araujo sends the ball in from the back. Lydia Favre, back to Rohrback. Shoots, and it goes past the Italian defence at head height. Just can't quite claim it. That awkward height between first and second line as to who's there to defend it. Donardi, Volonte. Betty sends the ball long. Cecchi will claim it now. Raises the arm high. It's dug up and claimed by Civitillo on second line. Rohrback just got her steps wrong there, but adjusts. Tana now takes it, shoots, scores through the defence again. Madella and Abutso. Tana puts it in that gap. And with 5 seconds left in this period, Switzerland take a 7-point lead as the buzzers go for the end of the first period, and that is it. Switzerland 18, Italy 11. Back with more.
Prima vi do i cambi, poi dopo facciamo. Scende la luce, sale la Noe. Ok, sul 3. Allora. State facendo un po' di procedura.
C'est bien, de toute façon on rentre dans le tournoi. Si on continue comme ça, je vous laisse un tiers, comme ça vous avez le temps de prendre vos marques ensemble. Là il faut juste aller un peu claquer plus sur les timings. Vous avez juste un petit souci de timing et de précision de passe, c'est pas encore réglé.
Non tira mai esterno, tira solo interno, non ce la fa. Non riesce a tirare esterno. Belle raggruppate in centro e soprattutto quando arriva lenta, che non arriva in velocità, e lo vedete perché sta su, là alla sinistra mi deve chiudere subito sulla cosa, sul 40, perché se no, se io ho la Chiara che mi sta molto esterna perché la Orbach fa lo spin, è normale che poi dopo ci troviamo che non siamo posizionate bene, perché si trasla tutto quanto, se tu comunque ti nastra un po' più in qua e via discorrendo. Quindi, ricapitolando, sulla Tanner, di qua, se lo vedete come salta, se imposta col destro per andare sull'esterno, te ti lanci sullo esterno, tu arrivi a catapulta e ti lanci a chiudere su di lei, ok? Se vedete che invece salta e sta già buttando il corpo in avanti, te ti fermi prima, cioè tu devi essere il tappo per lei. Lei deve arrivare a cazzo, ok?
We return to you now as the teams start to step back onto the court for the second period. Looks like Italy have made one change, with Lucrezia Madella stepping off and Noemi Fontana replacing her. Switzerland appear to be lining up in exactly the same formation as they finished that previous period. Cecchi brings the ball in from the back. Dinardi to Volonte, cross to Betty, shoots, ball is dug up, and Araujo can't quite get there on second line. I think she's gesturing that she lost the ball in the lights. It's obviously not advisable that she plays in sunglasses. It's one of the issues if the ball is dug up particularly high. Tanner sends the ball long now. Civitillo can't do a huge amount with that ball in the corner there. She just shakes her head. Slightly annoyed, I think, with the poor quality pass that she couldn't do a lot with. Adori sends it in, but Italy again can't control it, and ball returns to Switzerland. Slightly understated start to this period after a first period which promised such big things. Frame ball called there. The shot from Fava. And so Azzurri takes the ball into Fontana. Cecchi now stops her run. Sends it long to Betty, who, can't do a lot with it. Yeah, this... Just fireworks haven't quite lit off in the same way that we saw as the teams both run onto the court and during the first period. Can Tana do something about it? She can, with a lovely wide shot that beats Fontana. And the crowd light up as they do so. Italy now with the ball. Volonte switches across to Betty. Shoots and claimed by Siffert, who celebrates the catch. Salzo now, one pass for Rohrbach, who doesn't need it. Shoots, Abutsu takes the catch comfortably. That's more like the Abutsu we're used to seeing on the international stage. A lot of the Italian shooting is coming through Betty at this point, and I think she's just feeling it slightly. Fava takes a very clever quick shot, catching the Italian second line out and placing it just this side of the halfway line. Claiming another point for Switzerland, who move into an 8-point lead. Betty in from the back. Abutsu. On to Fontana. Switch to Cecchi. Shoots powerfully. Was dug up, and neither Salza or Siffert can get their hands on that. Cecchi scores the point for Italy. Araujo. On to Fava. Feints and returns it to Rohrbach. Switch to Tana. Shoots. And that's claimed on front line by Abutsu. Passes to Fontana, who shoots and scores. A low shot there. Swiss defence couldn't do a huge amount about that. The ball brought in from the back. Fava to Siffert. Shoots, and that's gone between the two, and just before Donardi was able to catch it, it touched the heel of Volonte's shoe, a violation which results in the point being scored. Abutsu this time passes to Cecchi, who then plays to Fontana. Salza spreads down and takes the catch, getting nice and low to the ground in order to do so. Ball is returned to Rohrbach, who shoots and spins it past Cecchi. That shot proving very productive. And the Swiss crowd roaring their appreciation as a result. Oh, Betty just unable to gather the ball there. Fava takes a quick breakdown, sends it across to her sister, who looks to loop it up and over the second line, and she's placed that perfectly. Fontana can't quite get there on the slide. She spots it early, and you see her sprint through, but it just doesn't be able to time her run right. Fontana now takes the ball, sends it to Cecchi. Shoots high. Oh, one-handed from Araujo, who then puts it back to herself. Rohrbach shoots quickly and into the gap between Abutsu and Cecchi. A 10-point lead now opens up for Switzerland, with 4 minutes gone of this first period. The Italians are looking to put a lot through Fontana now. I think they've realised they're overusing Betty a little bit, so they're looking to utilise both ends, but it does mean that Cecchi having to shoot against the Swiss 4 is feeling the toll a little bit. An aerial there, but well caught. The Italian defence were equal to it. Azzurri spins around. Volonte now with the spin, claimed by Siffert. Salza. On to Rohrbach. She's just out of court as she looked to slide and play it across to Tana. The Swiss defence reset themselves. Fava just checking out for second line. Keeping a watchful eye. Betty switches across to Volonte, who spins the shot. Fava catches it with help from her sister, and it's played to Rohrbach. Takes 2 steps, switches to Tana, shoots, and that's a freight. Yeah, I think you could see from the Italian reaction that something had come off not quite correctly, and the referee's correctly calling frame there. Ball sent across to Volonte. Shoots first time, well defended on the move by Fava. Not a particularly good pass though. Marion Fava has her head on her hands. Her hands on her head. Having her head on her hands would put her upside down, and that's not where she was. The ball switch across to Cecchi now. I'm sorry, this game is moving so fast I'm actually mixing up my words, but it is a phenomenal game to watch. I've just seen somebody in the crowd make that expression as if they've had their mind blown by some of the play, and honestly, this is such good quality. It's a real advert for women's tchoukball everywhere. Dinardi with an excellent catch on second line there, running through and making sure she only takes her 3 steps. Fontana shoots, Sousa claims it on front line, slows the play down slightly to send it to Fava. Take a breath. Marion Fava now switches to Civitillo, shoots, and Dinardi puts her hands above her head to try and catch that, but only ends up parrying it out of court. I wonder if she'd have left that, if it would have continued out for a given point. But Civitillo claims the point. Abutsu across to Fontana. Switch to Cecchi. That is a phenomenal dig. One-handed with her right hand, pops it up, roll back to Araujo. Tana then shoots the 90, but Cecchi is equal to it, returns to her shooting position. And Italy have made another change. The twins make a catch between them again before returning it. And foot on line called. I've just missed a slight change there. Elena Volonte has come off. And Lucrezia Madella has returned at the other end. So they've now split the pair of Madella and Cecchi to different ends of the court as Italy try and fashion their way back into this match. 16-25. Ah, they won't manage to do it with passing like that, though. I think what they're looking to do is have Betty set up Madella, but instead of going square to wide, they're now going wide to square, which is going to prove easier for the Swiss defence to catch up to that. Switzerland taking the point there, though, as Tana manages to bounce it off the knee of Fontana, scoring the point. Betty now sending it long to Fontana. 2 big steps, switching across to Cecchi, runs in fast, but Switzerland defence is equal, and Araujo claims it. Sends it to the frame pivot, Fava. Cross to the left, shoots, and it gets through the defence. Azzurri can't quite claim it on front line. She curses to herself. Ball sent back in. Fontana. Need to go on a one-woman mission, but it's dug by the Swiss defence, who have been generally very good so far. Oh, an excellent set of disguise. Civitillo very happy with how that came off. Looked to feign as if she was passing at the length of the court, flicked it to the left shooter, taken slightly by surprise, but manages to take the point. Madella to Cecchi, long ball. Another long ball in return. Betty now. Frame ball called. Italy not particularly happy with that. There was quite a large gap on the 45 caused by the 2 long balls, but I think she'd already set her run up in such a way that she was only ever able to shoot in such a way. Okay, none of the referees sure where that landed, so the ball will be an attacking breakdown to Switzerland. The crowd settle slightly. The Swiss take the breakdown. To Marion Fava, switch to Civitillo. The aerial doesn't quite pay off this time. Trying to do the aerial against this packed 4 defence is proving very difficult for Switzerland, and I do wonder if I think it was very close. Dinardi claims it on front line there. Sends it to Abutsu. Gets slightly scrappy now. And the ball just pops off Fava's chest. She correctly read the shot and stood up. It just wasn't quite enough, and it pops off for Italy to score the point. With 5 minutes to go, however, more than halfway through this game now. And Tana scoring there puts the gap up to 12 points now, and Italy are going to have to come from a significant way behind if they're going to try and challenge to take this match. Betty tries to send it down the line. Marion Fava is equal to the shot. Sends it to Araujo, who feints, returns it to the same end. Marion Fava, Civitillo shoots again. Frame has been called. Italy will now take the ball. Carla Donardi. It's the breakdown. Madella, Araujo, you could see where she was going, and Araujo knew exactly where that was going to be. Rollback is now caught on front line by Abutsu. Both these defences playing particularly well. Oh, almost a save there from Julia Faber, but just unable to make it happen. And Switzerland will bring the ball in from the back. To Araujo. Rohrbach. Tanner. Long to Civitillo, who picks a gap and concedes the given point. Good sportsmanship shown from Switzerland there, raising their arms to show that they know it was a given point to Italy, and rightfully receiving the applause. Abutsu. Long to Donardi. Betty. Shoots, pops up. Oh, Sousa almost claims a phenomenal catch there. Just slips out of her grasp at the last minute. Very unlucky. Araujo. Rohrbach. Tanner. And Fontana raises her eyes to the heavens, opens her hands in a plea of frustration. She just can't quite claim that. Italy have narrowed the gap to 10 points, but they're going to need to keep this momentum going. And the option ball played there. Returns now to Cecchi. 2 long strides. Popped up. Civitillo. Return to the front line. Rohrbach. What a catch. Sends it to Tanner. Switzerland back up Tanner now, as she must go to shoot. And Abutsu claims the catch to Donardi. Madella. Switch to Betty. Large gaps being left in the Swiss defence there. And Italy take the point. Very close to the line. A very difficult shot to defend. I think that may actually have been a given point, but very difficult for the referees to tell. Tanner shoots, and Fontana can't quite claim it. I do wonder if Italy are going to revert to swapping Fontana and Madella around, because I think Madella slightly had the better of Tanner from a defensive perspective. I don't think Fontana has claimed particularly well. That's one pass used there by Italy in defence. Fontana now, switching to Cecchi. Shoots, popped up, and Faber can't quite claim it on second line. Italy are narrowing this gap. The points scored now down to 8. A timeout is called, as one of the Swiss players appears to be down, potentially with cramp. Some attention is being sought. Italy taking the opportunity just to speak to their coach, grab a quick drink. Faber is now being carried off the court. As she does so, she, as per the rules, will not be able to be replaced until the point is scored. I don't actually know that the point was scored. Oh, it was, of course, because that was her going for it on second line, of course. So Parkinson comes in immediately for the first substitution the Swiss have made. Parkinson now sends it on to Faber. Civitillo shoots, and Donardi can't quite claim it on front line. It looked like it was just at a height where she ended up kind of twisting her hand slightly, and the ball hit the back of her hand, maybe slightly the forearm as well. Cecchi shoots, and Sousa equal to it, claiming it. Parkinson arms in the air to get the ball to send it to her end. Faber switches across to Civitillo, who shoots. Donardi claims it this time with a throat-high shot. Madella across to Betty. Civitillo doesn't quite catch it. We haven't yet seen Betty hit the 90-degree shot, which makes me wonder why the Swiss defence don't come around more on her, but I wonder if they're seeing something that I'm not. Tanner again gets the better of Fontana. I do think the Italians really need to shut that down if they're to fully come through with this match. Ball optioned out now to Azzurri, who sends it long to Cecchi. High shot, Sousa claims again. Sousa has really been a bedrock at the heart of this Swiss defence. Tanner with the high arms and switch. And Rohrbach is caught by Abutsu at the second attempt. Azzurri sends it to Betty. Switch across now. Madella, claimed by Parkinson on front line. Spins the ball in her fingers and sends it long to Rohrbach. With just 14 seconds to go, Tana now sends it long again to Siffert, who changes up her legs in the air. Zori, 5 seconds to go. Shoots, the ball is popped up and claimed by Siffert. It ends with a Swiss catch. The second period, I think probably not quite as frenetic as the first period, but it finishes Switzerland 33, Italy 24 as we move into the break before the final period.
Ragazze, avete recuperato 7 punti nel giro di 5 minuti, una roba del genere. Cioè, siete, lo ripeto, sembra una stronzata da dire, però siete voi le fautrici di tutto. Cioè, come voi state riprendendo la partita, la state anche lasciando andare, perché puntualmente quando riprendete il ritmo, poi dopo fate quelle 2 o 3 stupidaggini di costruzione, di roba del genere che vi riaffossano. Cazzo, se siamo in un buono spot e stiamo funzionando bene, facciamo le cose semplici, cioè non forziamoci a fare un ingaggio al centro-attacco e poi essere di ala. Non ne abbiamo ancora in questo momento qua in prima partita, non facciamolo! Perché un pallone che noi perdiamo è una possibilità in meno di recuperare la partita, ok? Quindi creiamoci la situazione più facile, anche nel discorso degli scambi, cerchiamo di fare meno finta se ci rendiamo conto che il passaggio non viene bene. Facciamo meno finta, passiamo meglio la palla perché il nostro obiettivo finale è arrivare al tiro bene. Ok? Non è fare il punto della vita, non siamo qua a fare la cimitiva che arriva al mondo,
Mais ça, on l'avait prévu. On a encore tout le tournoi pour voir ça. C'est le process. Le potentiel, il est gigantesque.
Nicole, elle est peut-être moins forte que Sylvia, mais elle me fait 100 fois plus que Sylvia. Ah, elle me fait 100 fois plus que Sylvia. Ouais, elle est bien belle. Et
Preparations for the last 15 minutes worth of play in today's Nations Cup on the 18th of December. It's been a really high quality game and a fitting end really to the opening day of a massive tournament. With plenty of games being live streamed. High quality athletes from several continents all around. And we see the teams take to the court. Switzerland have now taken the opportunity to make some changes. As we see Momo, Produit and Derata all come on. Italy starting this period as they finish the last. Betty shoots, Produit digs, Salza claims on second line. She has been an absolute animal in defence so far today. Ball goes long now to Tana, who shoots and Abuzzo catches close to her face. Donardi sends it on. Timeout is called for an injury to an Italian player. We've seen an injury to a Swiss player who is now receiving some medical attention on the side of the court. And we're now seeing the same for the Italian pair, Chiara Checchi. She's walking gingerly, but is just checking how she feels. And we'll see what happens when players resumed. The referees are about to signify the restart. It will be Azzurri to take the breakdown when time comes back on, as it does now. Tuabutsu claims it high above her head. He doesn't thank her teammate particularly much for that pass, but Betty now digs it up. Oh, and Sousa recognises she just dipped slightly too early in trying to read that on second line. Tried to almost catch it herself as opposed to read the knock-up, but she now sends it across to Tana and a given point. Not a particularly good start to this period for Switzerland, who are now just 7 points ahead of Italy. Remember, they were 12 up at one stage in this game. It's a big lead, but everything can change very quickly in tchoukball, and Italia Prodwi shoots high, gets the point, just catches out the Italian defence. Madella across to Betty, sends it back to Donardi, who shoots, and it's claimed on second line. Momo. And 3 passes. It ricocheted twice off the frontline defence before Momo was able to claim it, and then 2 passes. Saw the violation. Abutsu takes the breakdown, sends it long. Donardi across to Betty, switch back to Madella, shoots, spins it past Terata. Parkinson brings the ball in from the back now for Switzerland. To Araujo. Turns it to Prodwi, shoots and claimed on defence by Donardi. Abutsu now. Madella across, Betty, and it's caught by Parkinson on front line with help from Prodwi. Araujo. Tana shoots, and this time it's caught by Fontana. Not quite her normal low shot there, Tana. Made it just a little bit easier. Araujo takes the catch on front line to Parkinson. Sends it across. Prodwi switches, but just deceives Terata as she does so as well. Not the best switch there. And Italy will have the ball. Azzurri takes the breakdown. To Abutsu. Fontana. Switch to Checchi. It's not a particularly good switch. It was low, down to her right. Not easy for her to gather. And in the end, the ball is dropped. And Momo shoots. It's caught by a standing Checchi. Turn to Donardi to Fontana. Betty now has to shoot, and that's come off the frame. Parkinson considers what she's going to do for a second. Sends it to Terata, who switches to along to Laura Rohrbach. Tana, again, she manages to get past the Italian defence. It's been a little while since Switzerland have had that fluency in attack, but if they need an outlet, Tana is the most likely one to find it at this time. Abutsu brings the ball in from the back. Donardi pops it two-handed to Madella, who switches to Betty, and that's claimed on front line by Terata. Sends it to Sousa with a little pop pass. Now to Tana with 1 pass left. Checchi quickly catches and recycles to Donardi. Sends to Fontana. Goes long to Betty. There's not a huge amount she can do with that. Fontana gestures as if to say, well, I didn't have any options around where I was. Checchi wasn't in position. I only had the option to send it long. Prodwi shoots, but it's caught on front line, and Italy quickly recycled to the same end. And the spin shot there is successful from Madella. A head-high, almost chopping motion across the ball. Proves very difficult to catch. We're now seeing Fontana substituted off, with Volonte coming back on for the Italians in an attempt to try and stop Romantana's free-flowing scoring. But it makes no difference as she finds that 0-degree shot again. Volonte will have a work cut out for her. Donardi. Madella. Betty shoots high. Oh, Sousa had to try and change direction there. I wasn't quite able to do it. It was probably a little high and may have been heading out for a given point if Switzerland hadn't dug it on defence. Araujo. And we'd see a first-time shot from Momo. Cut to the coach there, Ben Farver, clearly very pleased with Momo scoring. I actually quite like that from a tactical perspective. If you just have a shooter who switches the whole time, they may set their... It does work a lot of the time, and it sets up your opposing shooter to shoot against a moving defence as opposed to a static defence, which will make it easier for them to score. But if that set-up shooter will shoot even once in 10, once in 15 times, just to make it a little bit more likely that the defence will set and give, even if they get caught, which in this occasion she didn't. I think it's a really good move, and I kind of advocate for it quite a lot. Donardi brings the ball now to Volonte, switches it to Cecchi. Switzerland catch it on front line, and they've used up all of their passes. They passed it to Momo, who just wasn't quite in the right position to be able to shoot there. So Italy take the break down, recycle it to the same end. Volonte across to Cecchi. That previous injury that she had at the start of the period seems to be causing her not too much bother, which is good to see. Prodwi shoots and immediately calls the given point on herself. Again, good sportsmanship from the Swiss. Araujo to Tana. And Abutsu just can't quite get hold of her there. But frame has been called. I think it was a slightly retroactive decision there. Della shoots and scores. And Italy keep in touch. Zauser to Momo. Tana shoots and scores between Volonte and Abutsu. Won't be denied a second time. Zori, Madella, Betty. Prodwi catches on front line, sends it to Araujo. Assesses her options, sees Tana there. Momo, her other shooter, is not in position, so Tana's only options are to shoot or to send the long ball, which she does to Terata. Claimed on front line. Italy recycle quickly. Madella shoots. Parkinson takes the catch. Sets up and switches to Prodwi. Correction, Terata. Is it long? Tana. That was awkward looking. Abutsu takes the catch off her own dig for 0 passes used. Parkinson almost got in her own way there by getting wrapped around the Italian player. She just left her a little bit out of position. In the end, she couldn't take the catch. Zauser sends it to Momo, to Tana. I think that looks quite heavy-footed and may well have been landing, but Italy take the catch anyway. Donardi back down to Madella. Cecchi shoots high, and Parkinson claims it loudly. Momo has to shoot this now. Does at head height, and Abutsu with an excellent catch around the back of Cecchi. Cecchi didn't know where that was. Abutsu saw it at all times. Madella switches to Betty. Terata, and pops it to Prodwi, who now has to send it long to Tana, who shoots high arm, pops up, and scores the point. This is end-to-end stuff, and sometimes same end to same end. That's the beauty of tchoukball. But the ball comes back in from the Italians. It really non-stop. This is the kind of heights that we were looking at in the first period. This kind of quality of play that saw us so enraptured in this game. And we're seeing it again in full flow from both sides here. This is genuinely brilliant tchoukball. Parkinson with the ball in from the back. Araujo. Prodwi to Terata. And that's a given point. Just as I claim it's really, really excellent tchoukball, Switzerland concede a given point. Araujo to Momo. Shoots high. Cecchi. In fact, the entire Italian defence were needed to defend that. And all Switzerland need is Zauser. To Parkinson. Prodwi shoots and scores. We see Funari getting ready to come on here. Going on for Terata. Terata didn't have that long on the court. But Switzerland realising that they need to close this game out to ensure the strongest possible start to the Nations Cup. Parkinson claims the catch on second line. Momo shoots high, and an excellent sliding catch by Donardi on seconds. Cecchi sends it long to Betty. That looked like an awkward angle to me, but nobody protested, and the gap is now down to 6 points as Parkinson brings the ball in from the back. Araujo. Sends it over to Momo. Tana shoots and puts it past Volonte on that 0. It's a really difficult shot to defend. You see that, just horrible to be able to do. Almost dug up by the entirety of front line there, but Zauser not quite in the right position on second line to be able to take advantage of that. Parkinson now. Zauser. Momo. Tana. Long. 0. Volonte claims the ball this time. Crowd show their appreciation. Donardi. Volonte shoots. What a catch from Zauser. Diving low to her left. Araujo would have left the space, and Zauser made sure that she filled it. Fenari now shoots and scores! Momentum swinging slightly back towards Switzerland with 4.5 minutes left to go and 7 points in this game. Abutsu. Volonte. Cecchi shoots, and this time Araujo takes the catch. Parkinson now. Momo looks at the defence, switches to Tana. Shoots and given point. The main referee making sure well in line with that decision. Parkinson to Fenari. Switch to Prodwy. Long ball now to Tana. Up against 3 defenders. Shoots and Abutsu bounces off to Volonte. Sends to Cecchi, who sends the ball long to Betty. Oh, Parkinson dug the ball up there. Probably wasn't quite in the right position initially, but manages to get it across. Fenari now with the ball and scores the point. You can see how much that meant to Parkinson. Celebrating with that end of defenders as the ball comes back in. This is relentless stuff from both sides. Betty now sending the ball long to Cecchi. Long run up. And she scores the point. It bounces off Mamone. The Swiss defence not quite in their normal position. And there's nothing that Zauser could do as it dropped between her legs. Parkinson. Slows down slightly. Shot taken and defended by Azzurri. Onto Abutsu. Cecchi shoots up. Parkinson attempts to dig the ball back into the court volleyball style, but doesn't quite make it happen. Abutsu is now coming off for the Italians. And the first introduction of Francesca Cribio. Parkinson now in. Across to Fenari. The Swiss really need to tidy their game up. They are down to just a 5-point lead. This is the lowest it's been for a long time in this game. The Italians sense there is a small bit of weakness right in these closing stages if they can just take advantage, and they do! Chiara Cecchi scores and brings that advantage down to 4 points. 2.5 minutes. Can the Italians do it? Can they come back from a 12-point lead that the Swiss had? Across to Fenari. That's the second one that Fenari's dropped. Honestly, this is breathless. This is really frame called there. Parkinson takes the breakdown. The Swiss, I think, are being sucked slightly into the pace that the Italians are wanting to play at. Works for them on this occasion with Fenari scoring. The Swiss just making a couple of changes to bring a couple of their starting players, Rohrbach and Favre, back onto the court to try and establish a little bit of calm. And just to close the game out. Tana takes the catch from Cecchi there. 2 titanic right shooters who have been going at each other all game. Favre switches across to Fenari. Nice set there, but Betty takes the catch on front line. Cribio, Madella, Fenari takes the catch. Zauser recycles. Favre across, shoots and scores! And with just 70 seconds left and the Swiss regaining a 6-point advantage, I think that is any hope the Italians might have had at the end there. The Swiss have cleverly just closed the game out by using the entirety of their advantage and bringing their experience back onto court in those positions where it counts. Ball now to Rohrbach. Switch to Tana. Shoots and scores in the gap between Cribio and Volonte. Volonte brings the ball in from the back now. Dinardi. Betty, Cecchi. Caught by Araujo. Quickly to back. Had just one to shoot at, chose to switch. Tana sent it long to Fenari, and the point is scored there against Betty. Italians throwing caution to the wind now as they just try to get anything out of this that they can in terms of points, and Zauser beaten for once there. She's been really good on front line, but just unable to quite get hold of that. Tanner brings the ball in from the back now. Parkinson sees that there are just 10 seconds left. Sends it to Fava. Switch to Fenari. Long now to Rohrbach, who will take possibly the last shot of the game. Sends it high. Cribio catches. And that is the last shot of the game. The Swiss flags wave in the crowd as Switzerland take the victory by 7 points, 49 to 42, in what was an excellent, excellent game. Two sides now will line up. As they do so, the referees will formally read the score. What a game that was to finish the first day of the Nation Cup. Thank you for joining us here in Geneva, online via Tchoukball Promotion. And please tune in for the next 2 days for more action that will hopefully live up to the quality that we've just seen on this court today. This was a genuinely excellent match. It's been a privilege to commentate on it. It's been a privilege to be a part of this first day of the Nations Cup. And I hope you all continue to enjoy the rest of the tournament for the next 2 days.
Of the Tchoukball Geneva Indoors Nations Cup, 9:30 for the first game, and all the day long we'll have a lot of games, and at the end of the games we're gonna know which are going to be the 4 teams in each category who will be qualified for the semi-finals. Merci encore à tous. Début des matchs ici dans la Brandten Arena à 9h30.